afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Channel 8, the local sports network. It's a very special day for Channel 8 because we are trying out our new logo, designed by our very own Haydos. But before we get to that, I am Chukka Wilson. You are watching Channel 8 in association with our partners, Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I am Chukka Wilson and I'm joined by Haydos. Welcome, Haydos.
Good afternoon, Chukka. Glad to be back here.
Now, this is round 3 of the F2 division, Diamond Creek 2 versus Lower Plenty in the 2017-18 season. Now, Lower Plenty have come off 2 wins. They are 2-0. Diamond Creek 2 have 2 losses. They are 0-2. Lower Plenty are near the top of the ladder and Diamond Creek are at the bottom of the ladder. So it's going to be an important game in determining what type of league the F2 is. Because if Lower Plenty wins, it's clear that they are one of the best teams, and it's clear that Diamond Creek 2 are one of the worst teams, and it'll give the league a much more clear understanding of where everything is. But if Diamond Creek 2 are able to win in this 2-day clash, then it will really throw a cat amongst the pigeons. It will open up and it will start getting people to ask a lot of questions exactly who is going to be in the finals come March. Any words, Haydos, on the state of the F2 league right now?
Oh look, Diamond Creek Sec 2 have got the disadvantage of course being the same grade as the third 11 of Diamond Creek, with Diamond Creek 2 being the 4th. So certainly do have that disadvantage there of automatically having a team that's meant to be selected that are better than them. So automatically they're on the back foot, and they saw that last week when they actually had the derby here at Marngrook. Lot Plenty, they've got a few stars in their side there, sort of pushing up towards those top couple of grades there, so it's no surprise that they've actually put it together so far this season there. Away from home, they're not necessarily the best team, but we'll certainly see how they put it together today.
So we will look at what has happened in the F2 so far in this home and away season after the break. But before then, let's just have a look at the weather, because there has been quite a little bit, not as much, but a bit of rain. So today, this morning, there was a short shower which made the entire grass was quite damp, but in the last couple of hours it has stopped and the sun has come out somewhat and it is starting to dry up. But over the course of the last week we have seen little showers here and there repeatedly. So on Friday there was 1 millimeter of rain, on Thursday there was 1 millimeter of rain, on Wednesday there was half, on Tuesday there was 6 millimeters, and then on Monday there was 4. So there has been quite a lot of rain over the last week, and the temperature has not been that hot. It is stuck around the mid to late teens. We have not seen a 20-degree day since last Sunday, and so it is unusual spring weather, because spring weather is normally associated in the southern hemisphere with humid conditions, lots of rain, and really building up towards a dry, hot summer. But here, the temperatures have been lower than average, and the rain has been less than average, and the humidity is less than average. And so it's going to be, it's uncertain how this weather will actually affect the game. Obviously, Marngrook Oval is kept very nicely. There's nice cut low grass, so there's no question that the outfield will be overgrown, but the water that has been developing over the last week might cause the outfield to be somewhat slower than average. Any words on that, Haydos, on the weather that we've seen last week?
Yeah, you've summarised it perfectly there, the fact that it has been overcast there. I think we're starting to see it more and more for these October and November games. One of the things we've been happy about is to actually get the cricket in there. I know in years gone by we've always lost either a game or even 2 games to the weather, but we've actually been blessed with the right sort of weather come the actual first ball. So yeah, I expect it to suit the bowlers, so when it comes time to deciding who's going to bat first, you certainly would not mind being in the field today.
Yes, when we're looking out at the sky, it's mostly overcast. variation between the lightish grey and darkish grey clouds. There's spots of blue here and there, but it is mostly grey. I think that if you would to bowl first, with the new ball, with overcast conditions, with the outfield being slightly slow because of the damp, and yet it's not so damp that you would ruin the new ball because of the seam getting wet. I think it's that perfect level of dampness that perfectly helps the fielding team. So definitely, if you have a good swing bowling attack, you definitely think about bowling first. Okay, let's take a break now. You are watching the Channel 8 Local Sports Network in association with Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I am Chukka Wilson, and I am joined by the one, the only, the legend, the Haydos. Let's take a break now, and when we come back, we've got more of the pre-game show.
Left in the dead of the new moon's veil, I clung to the side of the camouflage trail. I was over the river before the sky was awake. I've kept my ear pressed to the transistor radio. The station is all I have left from my little home. Don't wanna leave, but this sorrow was all I could take. A staticky voice through the crackling speaker has followed me all the way here. The longer I go, we both will get weaker till one of us just disappears. Don't wanna go, but my duty is stronger than fear. I worked 20 years without nothing to show, so I left behind everything that I've known in the hope that my family won't need to go hungry again. They stopped me the last time I tried this migration. I'm the overflow man in this melting pot nation. The only thing here in this desert is northerly wind. And I'm not really sure where the oxygen's going, but it followed me all the way here. The line on the map didn't stop it from blowing. It's free, and that one thing is clear. I don't wanna go, but my duty is stronger than fear. And the sun, it doesn't care if it's here or if it's over there. It just passes through the stratosphere until it goes away. I once watched a sparrow fly south for the winter. Her feathers were thin and her body was thinner, but we had enough there to feed her until she was well. The seasons are cycles that go back and forth. One day it's south and the next it is north. They just need a little relief till the snow starts to melt. Today she's returning to look for her nest, and she's followed me all the way here. With nothing to hold but the meat on her breast and the promise of one more year. The radio man is still playing his songs, but the signal is not quite as clear. I'd rather be back the place I belong, but my family is needing me here. I don't wanna go, but my my duty is stronger than fear. I don't wanna go, but my duty is stronger than fear.
Welcome back. You are watching the pre-game discussion show on Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio with Channel 8, the local sports network. I am Chukka Wilson, your host, and my co-commentator here is Damien Hayden. Haydos. Welcome, Haydos.
G'day, glad to be here, and yes, should be in for a fascinating day of cricket.
This is round 3 of the F2 division, Diamond Creek 2 versus Lower Plenty. It's now time to look at the 11, so I'll go through the 11 and then I'll get Haydos to point out a player in focus to talk about in more detail. So let's have a look at Diamond Creek 2. So the captain, David Ramsey, Sean Russell, Robert Pearce, Andrew Pollett, Lachlan Dwyer, Max Trainer, Zach Petro, how do you pronounce that? Petrosino, Adam McKenzie, Stephen Farah, and Jaden Stephen. So, what is your player in focus for Diamond Creek 2?
Look, I'm going to take a look at Jaden Stephen here, the under 16 there coming into the side. Has had the injured finger, which is why he's missed out on games earlier in the season, but has done the apprenticeship in the lower grades and certainly owned the spot in the 4th 11. We'll expect him to take the gloves this afternoon when Diamond Creek do bowl. Or, of course, they're batting. I expect him to potentially be in that lower order, but good to see him back from injury.
And we did see him on Channel 8 last week when he was a substitute fielder, so we have seen him take a couple of catches.
Exactly right. So it seems that he's well over his finger injury there, so don't be surprised there if he's complete comfort when he's with the gloves this afternoon.
Yep. So let's have a look now at the Lower Plenty 11. So we've got the captain, John O'Connor, Jason McCarrath, Jake McKinnon, Kieran Anderson, Liam Lacey, James Neese, Sam Naif, Anuga Caldera, Willoughby Addison, Liam Chilcott, and Duncan Talek. So, Haydos, what is your player of focus for the Lower Plenty team?
Well, there's only really one man to carefully look on, and that's Justen Maccaroff. Been fantastic to start the summer. A bit of a journeyman in the lower grades there. Has been playing F grade for Lower Plenty for a long time there. Has a fantastic start to the summer there. We've already 160 runs in the 2 games so far there. And does have some handy off spin as well there. We saw him take a couple of wickets in round 1, so he'll be playing an important role with bat and ball throughout this match. He's a key one the Diamond Creek have to both get out and nullify his bowling.
Very good. So those are the 2 teams. Those are the 11s here. So now let's take another break, and then we get back, we're going to have a look at what the F2 division has given us so far in the season. So you are watching Channel 8, the local sports network in association with Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I'm Chukka Wilson. I'm joined by Damien Hayden. Haydos. We'll take a break now, and when we come back, we've got more pre-game show.
Stepdaughter fought away the cold December air. On a park bench sitting by a fallen pine, she folds her bloody hands and sees the sign saying all we are is all we are is sin. All we are is all we are is sin. On the corner of North Main and High, the trains would shake the walls as they pass by. The clamor of the the steel rails, drown her voice as she screamed in the night. And a smile would cross his empty face as he put that girl in her place again. And she shut down her last defenses. She turned off her tattered senses and looked up to the sky with glassy eyes. The pawnbroker's stepdaughter floats above the ground where she had stood. The pawnbroker's stepdaughter made it right the only way she could. She lifted up her trembling hands. The room was spinning like a carousel. She felt her body spin around with crimson running to the ground before her. The room turned silent, the train was gone. The melting snow, the crack of dawn was here. This is how the story ends, the same way that it all begins. 'Cause no one here forgives our sins in this world. The pawnbroker's stepdaughter floats above the ground where she had stood. The pawnbroker's stepdaughter made it right the only way she could. All we are is all we are is sin. All we are is all we are is sin. All we are is all we are is all we are is sin.
And welcome back. You are watching the Channel 8 Local Sports Network in association with our partners Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I'm your host commentator Chukka Wilson, and my guest commentator is the legendary cricketer himself, Damien Haydos Hayden. Welcome, Haydos.
Thanks, Chukka. It's always getting itching to that first ball, so can't wait for it all to begin.
We are watching round 3 of the F2 division, Diamond Creek 2 versus Lower Plenty. This is Diamond Creek's 4th 11 because they have 2 teams in the F2, and so we just have to remind everyone this is the Diamond Creek 2 team. So when you have a look at the ladder, it's and you look at the teams, it is the Diamond Creek 2 side on the My Cricket website. So now let's have a look at what has happened so far this season. So let's start with Diamond Creek 2. So they've played both games. Everyone's played both games. There are no byes in the F2. So Diamond Creek 2 played Lower Eltham in round 1 in the one-day game. Diamond Creek 2 won the toss and batted first at the Wattle Glen Memorial Park. Batted out their overs 9 for 111. Trainer 34. Tassoni 23, Mackenzie 19 and Goering 11. The bowlers, Sinclair took 3 wickets, Waldron 3, then 1 for Collis and Bartleby Thompson. Then in response, Lower Eltham chased it down with about 4 or 3 overs to spare. Williamson 40, Waldron 26, Stanner Farley 21. And then amongst the Diamond Creek bowlers, Pearce took 1, Trainer took 2 for 19, Ramsey 1 and Gurung 1. So it was, they didn't make enough runs at Diamond Creek and they got a chase down.
Yeah, exactly right there. At Wattle Glen, you sort of got to be looking towards at least that 4 and over. Not particularly big ground there, although it is a little bit slow. So certainly too few 111, and Lower Eltham are always a strong side there in the F grade side. So I'm not surprised that they got the job done.
And then in round 2, we had the derby between the two Diamond Creek teams. Diamond Creek, the 1, batted first by winning the toss and were bowled out for 120 with Milner 62, Merritt 18 and Jarram 10. And then the bowlers Pearce took 4 for 24, Gurung 3 for 22, Trainer 2 for 8. And then in response, Diamond Creek 2 got skittled out for 55, batting for 30 overs with Tassoni, Guy and Russell the only players to make double figures. Sewell took 4 for 21, Farron Price 3 for 17, and then Poon got the other wicket. And so with a small but significant lead, Diamond Creek 1 batted again and then declared 6 for 86 after 30 overs with Rotten Ack 18, Puto 25, Milner 20. Pearce took 3 for 22, Trainer 2 for 13. And then with the target set, Diamond Creek 2 were able to play out for the draw, batting for 31 overs, 5 for 62 with Guy 28 and Mackenzie 28. Ireland took 3 for 14, Farron Price 1 for 15 and Jarram 1 wicket as well. And this was at Mungrook Oval, so a very low scoring game right here at the Oval just in the last week.
Exactly right there, and I think both sides have their strength of their bowling. You look at the quality of bowlers that you've actually run through there. Rob Pearce, who actually took a 10 for last summer, getting plenty of wickets in that game, 7 in total for the match there. Lockie Sewell has been earmarked for higher honours. He got 4 wickets, as you mentioned, in that first innings as well. Not to mention also Farron Price and Ireland, who are good bowlers as well. So definitely the strength of both sides there, so it won't be surprising as the summer goes on if the bowling's a strength as well there. And again, as we've talked about throughout the coverage so far, it is the thirds against the fourths, so ultimately you expect the thirds to win, so that's exactly what happened.
Do you think that the result that we saw in the last week, in the last game, is symbolic of how Mungrook Oval is in terms of a scoring deck? Is this low scoring what we would expect this round?
I think the better batsmen will still find a way to get those runs there. We actually had a look here earlier in the year at the B grade with Riverside and Diamond Creek, and that in itself was a reasonably high scoring game. So I think the quality of batsmen will still find a way. Those who are willing to run hard between the wickets with the long square of the wicket boundaries there. But of course in the lower grades, especially F and lower there, they're not necessarily the most fit of sports persons. So you'll find that those 3s turn into 2s, 2s turn into 1s, and you find you get less runs in total.
So there we have it. Diamond Creek 2 have played 2 games and they've both lost. So now let's move over to Lower Plenty, who have played 2 games and they've won them both. So Lower Plenty first of all played against the Laylaw Stars. Laylaw won the toss and batted first and batted out their 35 overs, 7 for 111. Turner 35, Winston 21, Watson 12 and Chinny 12. Amongst the bowlers, O'Connor 3 for 10, McCarriff 2 for 12, and then 1s for Campbell and Lambert. And Lower Plenty chased it down, only 1 wicket down. The 1 wicket to fell was Lambert for 32, Naif 25 not out, and McCarriff 58 not out. The 1 wicket was taken by Godino. So it was a very comfortable run chase in the end, played at the Anthony Beale Reserve East Oval, which is in the North Eltham St Helena area, so it's not actually far away from where we are.
You're quite right there. It's probably another one of those ones where it's a big difference between, say, that 3 and 4 and over run rate. 3 is going to be way too short, as Layla Star scored, but 4 and over certainly puts you right in the game there, especially in those 1 days. So it was a case of probably only falling about 40 or 52 short to make a Lower Plenty feel under pressure there. But of course, they've got a good all-round side, and I'm not surprised that both with bat and ball they were able to get the job done.
Okay, and so next was the round 2 game, which is the 2-day clash. Mill Park versus Lower Plenty at the same ground, the Anthony Beale Reserve East. Now, I've never been to that ground, so I've got no idea whether it's a high-scoring ground or a low-scoring ground, but anyway, Mill Park won the toss and elected to field first, and it did not pay off, with Lower Plenty batting out their 68 overs, 2 for 246, Macca 102 not out, and Nayef 114 not out. The only wicket that fell was the the opener, who made a very low score, and then one of the other batsmen, I think Nayef, actually went out in the last ball of the innings. The 2 wickets were taken by Marshall and McMaster. And in response, Mill Park were able to bat out most of the day's play, falling within half an hour of stumps, getting 186 all out. Holton 20, McMaster 51 not out, Zivanovic 11, and Mackenzie Smith 21, McMaster 12, and now there's a couple of Sinhalese names. Ramanake got 13, and then Vinden Parafana 34. Amongst the Lower Plenty bowlers, McKinnon 3 for 19, Caldera 2 for 17, and then ones for Campbell and Anderson. So Lower Plenty significantly superior with the bat, but they had to work for getting those 10 Mill Park wickets.
You're exactly right. I think reading out those answers will be the hardest thing you have to do today, Chukka. but of course, you're exactly right there. Lower Plenty did the job there, mostly with the bat. I think when you set yourself up with a big score there, your bowlers feel a lot more comfortable with the job they're looking to do there. So it was no surprise that they were able to get all 10 wickets there. Mill Park was certainly in the game there, but 240 is certainly above par score there at Anthony Bill. You probably look at above and below 200 as your sort of benchmark. So below 200, chasing sides in the game, and above 200, you as a captain, when you're in the field second, you've got a lot more room to move.
Okay, so now Lower Plenty won their 2 games, Diamond Creek 2 lost their 2 games, so let's have a look at the F2 ladder as it stands right now. So there are 2 teams that are 2-0, which are Lower Plenty and Lower Eltham, but because Lower Plenty had bigger wins, they are technically on the top of the ladder, but that's meaningless right now. Then there are the mix, which are 4 teams that are 1-1, which are Diamond Creek 1, North Eltham Wanderers, Riverside and Laylaw Stars. And then at the bottom of the ladder, we have the 2 teams which are 0-2, which are Diamond Creek and Mill Park. And so, like I said at the start of the broadcast, if Lower Plenty are able to beat Diamond Creek 2, that will pretty much cement the structure of the ladder, and it will reinforce what we already think about how good these teams are. And if there's an upset, then it will really throw open big questions about exactly who is going to be where come the finals, or not even that, come Christmas time, because by the time Christmas comes around, we should know who is competing for a spot in the finals. So yeah, I would say that definitely Lower Plenty are the favourites. They are in great form. They've had 2 great wins. But Diamond Creek 2 at their home ground, they have some good performances they've had so far this season. So there's no reason why they can't, give this a good swing.
Well, it's exactly right, and it's going to be probably played out, I'd say, mostly when Lower Plenty get their hands with the willow there. The fact they've only lost 3 wickets in 2 games across 100 overs there means that they're quite familiar with the bat. However, Diamond Creek is actually their strength was their bowling, as we've talked about earlier in the telecast. So that's really where I think the game will pan out. Although, having said that, the other innings itself is also going to be important as well there, as that helps set up the game. So it's going to be an interesting contest there. As we've talked about, Lower Plenty comfortably favourites, but you just never know in this game with ours.
Alright, let's take another break here. You are watching Channel 8, the local sports network, in association with our partners, Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I am Chukka Wilson. I am here with Damien, Hayden, Haydos. We are here at the Marngrook Oval for round 3 of the F2 division, Diamond Creek 2 versus Lower Plenty. Let's take a break now, and when we come back, we have cricket not far away. Don't go away.
Never speak in the light. Now they're in the corner, out of sight, and till the sun burns out. And then they're gonna scream and shout. Hold your breath and count to 10. Remember that it's all in your head. If you let them in, they'll breed and spread. And oh, you gotta take them, gotta break them, gotta shake them, gotta make them even stutter till they're all burned out. You gotta drive them out.
Hello and welcome back. You are watching Channel 8, the local sports network, in association with our partners Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. We are here at the Marngrook Oval to watch the round 3 of the F2, Diamond Creek 2 versus Lower Plenty. It's one of the top teams versus one of the bottom teams. It's still early in the season, so there's still a lot to be said about who is going to be at the top and who's going to be playing finals and whatnot. But as it currently stands, Lower Plenty are 2-0 and Diamond Creek 2 are 0-2 as the players are walking onto the field. Now, one of the interesting things that might be of note is the changes that have happened to both the teams. Now, both teams have had 3 changes to their 11s with new players that have not played yet this season. So, Lachlan Dwyer, Stephen Farah and Jaden Stephen have not played in the Diamond Creek 2 in the F2 this season, and they're in. And then in Lower Plenty, we have Willoughby Addison, Liam Chilcott and Duncan Tallick, who have not played for Lower Plenty in the F2 so far this season. So 3 changes to both of these teams, 3 new players. So how will this affect the 11s and how this will affect the game, that's yet to be seen. So we're going to take a break now, and when we come back we're going to get ball 1.